Could a child's superhero costume become the clue that unravels one of Australia's most haunting mysteries? A red and blue Spider-Man suit, the favorite of a cheerful 3-year-old named William Tyrrell, turned from a symbol of joy into an emblem of loss. In 2014, William disappeared while playing in his foster grandmother's yard in Kendall, New South Wales. 11 years later, another Spider-Man suit was found not far from where he vanished, reigniting hope, heartbreak, and the endless question: what really happened to the boy in the Spider-Man suit? William Tyrrell was born in Sydney in June 2011. His early life was turbulent. His biological parents faced personal struggles and substance-related issues that led authorities to decide he was unsafe at home. At just 9 months old, William was placed in foster care. His foster family, a professional couple from Sydney, provided stability and love. To protect him, the family's identity and location were kept secret, even from his biological parents, who could see him only a few times a year under supervision. That secrecy would later shape everything that followed. In September 2014, the foster family traveled north to visit the foster grandmother in Kendall, a quiet, wooded town on the mid-north coast. It was meant to be an ordinary weekend. On the morning of September 12th, William, dressed in his Spider-Man outfit, played outside with his sister. His foster mother went inside for a brief moment, and when she returned, he was gone. Police arrived quickly. Volunteers, neighbors, and search teams combed the dense bushland, calling his name over and over. Helicopters scanned the treetops. Divers searched nearby creeks. But there was nothing. No footprints, no torn clothing, not a single trace. When William's foster mother realized he was missing, she searched the yard, calling his name again and again. At first she thought he was hiding, that it was a game. But as the minutes stretched, fear replaced curiosity. At 10:56 a.m., she dialed 000. Within minutes, police and local volunteers began to arrive. By early afternoon, the once quiet street of Benaroon Drive was flooded with cars, search parties, and the hum of helicopters overhead. Officers moved through thick bush, creek beds, and neighboring yards. Some locals brought their own dogs. Others searched with torches as dusk settled in. It was one of the biggest search operations ever launched in rural New South Wales. But in that rush to help, crucial evidence may have vanished. Footprints were trampled. The property was never fully sealed off. Even the car William had been playing near was moved before forensic photos were taken. Those early mistakes, made in panic and goodwill, would haunt the investigation. For years, did the truth about what happened to William disappear in those very first hours? When everyone was looking, but no one truly saw. How could a 3-year-old simply vanish in broad daylight, in a yard surrounded by forest and neighbors just meters away? Did someone take him? Or did something terrible happen closer to home? Within 24 hours, investigators treated the case as a suspected abduction. Strike Force Roseanne was created, with dozens of detectives and specialists assigned. Posters with William's photo, that smiling face in the Spider-Man suit, spread across Australia. Over the next few years, police followed hundreds of leads. A white car seen parked nearby. A neighbor who heard a faint scream. A repairman who couldn't recall his exact movements that day. Every clue led to another dead end. And as time passed, another question grew louder. Was the truth buried in the chaos of those first hours? When well-meaning volunteers flooded the property before forensic teams could lock it down. By 2019, the coronial inquest began. The secrecy around William's foster status was finally lifted, revealing what many suspected, that he'd been living in state care. It was a shock to the public, and it reignited fierce debate about transparency in the foster system. The inquest heard two competing narratives. One that William had been abducted by an unknown person, a stranger, perhaps a passing tradesman or local. The other, darker theory, that he had died accidentally at the Kendall home and someone concealed what happened. But if that's true, why has no trace ever been found? No scent, no remains, not even a piece of fabric matching his costume. Could an accident really erase every sign of a child? In 2021, investigators returned to Kendall with new technology, ground-penetrating radar, and forensic dogs. They searched bushland, creeks, and under the foster grandmother's deck. They dug, drained, and sifted through tons of soil, finding only animal bones. Then came another twist. In April 2022, William's foster mother was charged with giving false or misleading information to the Ness Dollars Crime Commission. Later that year, she was acquitted. No evidence has ever linked her, or anyone, to his disappearance. Former lead detective Gary Jubelin, removed from the case after a procedural dispute, has remained one of the few voices calling for an independent review. He insists there was no proof the foster family was involved, but admits the investigation may have made serious mistakes early on. And then, in 2025, hope flickered again. Workers clearing land in Dunbogan, just 20 minutes from Kendall, uncovered a red and blue Spider-Man suit. The discovery sent shockwaves through Australia. Could this finally be the clue everyone had been waiting for? The costume was handed to the State Crime Command's homicide squad. Forensic teams ran every test possible. When results came back, police confirmed it wasn't Williams. The suit was different in size, brand, and material. A false lead, but a haunting coincidence. Because Dunbogan wasn't random. It's a place that's appeared again and again in this case, linked to prior suspects, to witness reports, and to unexplained sightings along the Camden Haven River. So was it just chance? Or something pointing back to where investigators should have been looking all along? The coroner, Deputy State Coroner Harriet Graham, is expected to deliver findings in early 2026. Whether those findings bring answers or more questions remains to be seen. As the years pass, one question refuses to fade. How can a case this large, this public, and this deeply investigated still have no ending? William's biological parents, who once lost custody due to welfare concerns, now attend hearings quietly, year after year. They still refer to him as our beautiful boy. His foster family, meanwhile, continues to release messages of grief and hope every birthday. Two families, united by love and tragedy, but separated by the system that was meant to protect him. Was this a failure of chance? Or of trust? Was William's disappearance a perfect crime, or the product of investigative missteps too painful to admit? Sometimes the greatest mysteries don't hide in the shadows. They hide in plain sight. Almost 11 years have passed since a little boy in a Spider-Man suit disappeared from a garden in Kendall. And still, the photo of William smiling in that costume feels impossible to forget. This isn't just another cold case. It's a story about innocence, about a child who believed in heroes and a country still searching for one. It's a reminder of how fragile safety can be and how silence can grow louder with time. Every new lead brings hope. Every dead end brings heartbreak. And through it all, one truth remains. Someone, somewhere, knows what happened. Do you remember when this story first hit the news?
Do you believe the truth has already been found, or still buried beneath mistakes and silence?
I want to know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if stories like this make you pause, question, or feel something, subscribe to Behind the Crime Scene. Because some cases fade from the headlines, but they never fade from the night.